At some point, you realize doing it for free always costs you something time, energy, or belief in yourself. Welcome back to Creative Struggles. I am Najale, and today we are joined by a fellow actor to discuss what we as actors know so well unpaid work, doing a favor for a favor, and learning how to choose opportunities without feeling like you're being taken advantage of. Let me welcome Jerry. Come on in. Love it, people.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So how you been?
Been okay. Trying to live this California life.
You see what I'm saying? It's a little rough.
Yeah,
It can be rough. The
yeah.
struggle is real, as the title in the podcast, Creative Struggles. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the topic today, the cost of free.
Mm,
Oof.
mm.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it sounds, but
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's on the cusp, but it's there. It's up there. I want to start off with what season are you in? What's going on?
Oh wow! Right now is an interesting time
Mhm.
because I feel like life be lifing.
It really do. Try to tell y'all.
Yep. This last year, I believe, I've done some stuff. I just did my first Darman, which was cool.
Mhm.
And they're calling me back, so I'm on their radar, which I just like to stay active
Yeah.
and act. Still auditioning and stuff like that. But I feel like this last year, I just been working a lot, just trying to stay afloat. I live alone and I want to keep it that way.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I just feel like I just been a struggle of just trying to keep afloat. And I did a lot of more working for other people than working for myself and just trying to find that life creative balance.
Yeah, the happy medium. It's really hard to find that, especially in the
Mhm.
creative space,
Right.
because half the time you're not making money,
Exactly.
but you need to make money to continue to live alone.
Right. But yeah, it's just been a struggle, and I'm just focused on this year. It's changing that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like 2026, that's the year to change. The
Oh,
year
yeah.
to change. I feel like we can't keep doing the same stuff because it's not getting us to where we want to be or we feel like we need to be.
right.
So I feel like we got to make them steps to
That's
like
right.
really take ourselves out of the comfort zone that we have created for ourselves. And I'm telling this to myself too, because
Yeah.
I can stay in my own little bubble and just kind of do my own thing, but that's the problem. And that is why I'm not on big screens now because I'm in a bubble.
We too comfortable.
And we got to get uncomfortable to get
Yep.
back to that comfortability.
That's right.
Do you think doing like a favor for a favor hinders you or helps you?
I mean, I guess it depends on who I'm doing it for. I think there's a lot of people that's worth doing a favor for, and I'm a creative, so I always want to be in my craft.
Yeah.
So if whatever the favor is interests me, I think I'm all in, and whatever comes back as long as I'm happy doing what I do.
Yeah. Because I feel like in our space, like a lot of times we are doing favors for favors because
Yeah.
folks ain't got no money. So really it's more so like, hey, like I got this project or I got this skit, podcast,
Right.
if you want to be a part of it, that'd be great. If you don't, then okay, cool. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Cool.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, you ask me or somebody asked me
Yeah.
that they done did a favor. I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that because you already did me a solid. Like,
Right.
why would I not, help you out? Because you already helped me out,
That's right.
So I kind of look at it like that, not necessarily a tit for tat. Well, I got to do this because they
Because
did
you
that.
right.
I feel like if it suits you and the project is something that you want to do,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Like vice versa. Like if we're on the same page and we have chemistry and we have this working relationship where we both have the same plans and goals in mind, why not?
Yeah.
I think your project is cool and you think my project is cool because we
Mhm.
both, have that like-minded.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. It's one of the things where you got to scope the scenery out just
Yeah,
to,
of course. Be selective.
Yeah.
For sure. Be selective. Because I've been there, I've been there where it was not a good look.
So definitely scope out the scenery and make sure it is something that you want to do.
That's right.
How did we meet?
We met in acting class.
No.
No?
Remember the Mahalia Jackson?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that was first. Then it was acting class. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mahalia Jackson story. That's on Hulu. I think it's still on Hulu right now, right? Yeah. That was a fun first, like one of my first years or so here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was fun and it was big
Yeah.
because it got on Hulu.
Yeah.
Like my mom on Hulu.
And that's one of those films where it's like, well, you're not
Right.
really gonna probably touch the camera.
Right.
But you're amongst all of these phenomenal actors.
That's right.
You're networking. So it just felt good to even be in the presence.
That's right.
So it was funny. I don't know if you remember this, but I always, whenever I meet somebody, I just clip a moment from when we first met and it just always embedded in my head.
Right.
But I remember we were standing in line to get food. We're more than likely crafty.
Yeah.
We was all talking. And we was dressed in, what was it like?
Yeah, like back in the day.
Like 50s.
Yeah, there you go.
And everybody looking not homeless.
No.
But it was good.
But it was dated.
It was dated. So you knew we had to have been on set.
Right.
And I remember this homeless lady, I don't know how she got in, but I remember her walking up to us and she was like, does anybody have some spare change? And I remember we was all like, no, sorry. And I remember you was like, oh, I have, like, I think he was trying to give her some quarters or something. And then she was like, what am I going to do with that?
Wow. I don't remember that, but it definitely sounds like that would happen.
And she got upset and walked away. Okay.
She must have thought we was famous.
The funny part was like, you came over here and asked us.
This happens often with me, though.
It was just so funny. And that is the memory that I have of you. It's funny. That's I'm like, I don't know if people remember because like that's probably something that's like, why would you remember that? But
no, that's good. I'm glad it was a good memory. I was over here nervous.
No, okay. But yeah, that was how we met originally, and then acting class because I remember you was telling me about class.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then we met in acting class. Yeah. After that.
Yeah. But there you go. But that was a good film to start off with.
Yeah.
Like I think that I still have it on my on my Instagram feed.
Yeah.
Me and Columbus Short. Them choosing me to be next to Columbus Short.
Yeah.
Which got cut, which is fine. It happens. This is Hollywood.
They be doing a lot of cutting now.
Yeah. Yes, they do. But it was definitely memorable. Something that you could tell home and call your mom and stuff and say like, look, I'm actually doing something.
Right. Okay. I ain't got the footage, but I know I was there. So that's all that matters.
That's right. Very good times.
I want to get into the grind report.
Okay.
So the grind report, what that is, anything that has been happening for you for the week.
That's funny because I just did a audition like 3 a.m.
I know that's right.
Yeah. I'm a comedic actor, so I'm trying to get more into stand up. So I did something, a little improv of stand up for a commercial, which I usually do a lot of commercials. And I think it went well. I mean, just tapping my toes in there, the whole stand up thing. Improv, but but a lot of auditioning. I'm starting to try to get on stage. I just want to stay creative, so I'm still working on that. Life, creative balance. Yeah. I'm starting to take in more things and more opportunities that that's around me.
Yeah, I think that we have to really just hone in on what we're truly aspiring to be, what we're truly trying to do, because I feel like we can have multiple different ways to be creative. And, and that's multiple different ways to get some income.
Yeah.
So, stand up could, actually hit.
Yeah.
And then you go back into acting,
Right. They say I look like the guy Cam from SNL now. Yeah. I keep getting that. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, you know what?
It was something. Yeah.
Well, if he could make it, I can make it then.
Hey, yeah. Hey, we all doing it.
That's right.
We gonna get there, on our own time.
Good job, SNL. We got some diversity.
My grind report for the week. Actually, I am about to do an audition today.
Nice.
And it's for a television show. So I don't want to say too much on that. This is like their third or fourth time sending me something. And I've auditioned before and it's like I hadn't gotten it. But I feel like if they keep sending me new stuff, they see something in me.
For
So
sure.
they're trying to get me probably the right character for me. So that's how I'm looking at it. So yeah, we gonna get that done today and send it on over. And
Okay, I think that's the right thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely want something from you.
Yeah, because I'm tired of thinking like, oh, they hated me. I'm not gonna do it. Well, God darn it, that could have been your chance. And you
Yeah.
missed it because, you're feeling sorry for yourself.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
Positive thinking,
we
positive
we
outcome.
gotta. It really started in here.
Yeah, that's
Everything
right.
started
That's right.
there
That's right.
because, the mind can be something treacherous.
Yes, it's
Ooh.
the mind killer. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So I'm just in a positive space with it because
Right.
why start off thinking negatively? Because that's just going to
Slippery
decline.
slope.
Slippery slope. We don't want that. So I'm happy to even get the audition.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Then let's get into the first topic. So the reality of free.
$3.99.
Yes. $3.99 plus a quarter.
I get a quarter. I gotta do laundry too.
I feel like when you first start out as an actor, I feel like there's this thing where, okay, well, no one really know me like that, so
Right.
I got to do it for free.
Right. Right.
And then you kind of start to feel like, well, maybe I should get a couple of dollars or so.
I'm worth something.
Yeah, I'm worth a couple. So how do you feel when you first started out? Did you feel like you needed to get paid?
Yeah. I mean, my spirit needed to get paid. That's how I felt, But no, yeah, I knew the game. I knew that I had to, do that pro bono work and just try to get like a resume.
Yeah.
I'm out here. I'm brand new. People
Yeah.
don't know me. I'm trying to, work it up. So yeah, I knew that, and I didn't mind it because I was doing what I came out here to do. And the money will come, once you do stuff you love.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The money will come.
That's right. Don't chase money.
Because if you go out looking for the money,
Yeah. It ain't gonna find you.
you ain't gonna find it. And if they do find you, it ain't the right money.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So we can get into that topic too. You got to pick what's right for you.
That's
And
right.
if it's going to get something that you don't believe in, but it got a good price tag on it, hey, that's up to you and the Lord that you.
Right. You got to keep your morals.
Yeah,
for sure.
you got to keep them because you don't want to mess that up. And then what if you get to a point where you get this big opportunity, but they done seen you did some off-market work?
Yeah, it worked for Sylvester Stallone, not for us.
To what point do you stop paying your dues?
Yeah, that's really on you. Once I got like a page full on my resume, you know what I mean? I think that I leverage, some opportunities now. And I'm getting these good feedback and people are loving me and I'm doing great work. I don't know what's different from me from a paid actor now,
Yeah.
So so you're gonna have to have a little self-worth after a while and saying like, all right, I'm gonna have to start getting paid.
And then, kind of going up in levels with it. Because when I started, because I moved here almost 7 years ago in June.
Mhm.
So, I was looking on Facebook and all the other places. I didn't know about casting networks and
Right.
all the other ones,
right.
fresh, real fresh. So, probably don't get on Facebook to look for stuff like that. They be a little tricky. But I was on there looking for stuff, and a lot of stuff I was doing was free because I'm trying to get my foot out there,
Right.
And after a while, I'm like, well, maybe I can get like $100.
Yeah. Yeah. Low pay is some
Low pay, Then I was kind of inching my way up to 150.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then finding stuff like 250. Okay.
Yeah. We in the money.
Yeah, we in it.
I mean, I do remember those times where, it did come from like free to like 250 and I was like, me?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Somebody out there loves me. You really like me.
But it's funny. That reminds me of I was booked for just regular background.
Right.
And then the morning of, they send an email, and it's like, oh, dang, you ain't even read it. It's like, and yet they cancel it, And then I open it. Oh, you've got bumped up to on camera $100. Oh, I didn't even ask for this. Thank you.
That's big for a rookie.
I'm like, whoa, wow, this just happens.
That's
Like,
right. That's
like,
right.
wow, that was nice. Yep.
Yeah. No, same, same. I remember back in New York where I'm from, I did a commercial for IHOP and they were just like, oh, just sit down, just tell me how you like what you're eating and stuff like that. And I did it and not thinking anything of it.
Yeah.
I get a call weeks later. Hey, you on this IHOP commercial? We just want to get you the information so you get residuals. I'm like, wait, what? Residuals. Yeah, that's the word you want to hear.
Yeah.
So it was a nationwide commercial. It was everywhere. People were seeing it. It was in different languages, and I was getting paid for some months. I went to Jamaica. I got a camera, man. I didn't know what to do, but yeah, and that's how I first got SAG eligible, and I was loving that. And
you've been up ever since.
After that, I knew my word. But you know what? I have done a lot of stuff for free because it just worth it sometimes, Like if it calls to you and you like it, why not? But I have done some free stuff that wasn't.
Yeah. When did you realize that not getting paid was a common thing in this industry?
I think I learned that you don't get paid for a while early on. Like even when I was back home in New York, I still did some commercials and stuff, and I even worked like behind the scenes. I think I've done everything on set before.
Yeah.
Yeah, grip, assistant camera, everything, even the art department. And a lot of times I've done stuff for free just to be in the presence of people, and to learn. So I guess it's about like what kind of pay you want. I was getting something from it.
Yeah.
So and I was at that time I was content with that. But yes, I knew at an early age that you're probably not gonna be getting paid for a while.
Yeah.
But if you love what you do,
it don't even matter.
it don't matter. Yeah.
And I like how you spoke about like, being paid isn't necessarily about money. It's more so, you put in time in and actually you could be gaining a lot more knowledge.
Oh yeah.
I've got all of this access to these people. I can ask these people, whatever I need to ask them so I can move to that next level.
Yeah. And being yourself on set, because I'm always like a funny guy and I'm talking to people. I'm very friendly.
So.
Yeah. And a lot of those times just being on set as an unpaid extra, people are taking notice. Like people that probably not even talking to you. It's like, this guy's funny. Yo, you want to try this?
Yeah.
And another way that I got on, a lot of films that I was in, like independent films, because people just was like, yo, you're funny. Yo, can you stand there for this? Let me see how you try with this. And improv-ing. And another thing that probably got cut, but I got paid and I got recognition. And, I think the biggest pay at that time was like, hey, we recognize that you are talented. And then people call you back and be like, you know what, you was on set for this. We noticed that you were good at that. And yeah. So always be you, always be positive, always be friendly, and don't worry about the money. Just do what you love.
Because you truly never know who you're going to meet and how they're going to perceive you and what they may have for you that you can't even fathom. It's like, and they may not even know until they see you. And they're like, ooh, damn.
Yep.
Lead role. Look at that.
Yo, it happens. It's not a fairy tale. It does happen like that. Yeah, just always, my friend always say, yo, always be friendly and brush your teeth.
Yeah, it starts with the mouth, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely got to make sure that's right.
He actually said that.
I mean,
Yeah, it all applies.
Get some mints.
Yeah, something.
Do they still make the strips?
I think so.
Yeah, I ain't seen them since like high school. They probably at a corner store underneath the dust or something. So where's the money? Where is all of the money coming from? Where are they getting this money from? How are they paying us?
Yeah, that's a good question. With all these streaming services and stuff like that, I don't even know how things work anymore.
Yeah, because I just be so confused.
Yeah.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that is true. I got some money in the mail. It was like Netflix. I was like, what the heck did I do on this?
Yeah.
I don't remember sometimes, which is a good thing. That means that you're constantly moving, constantly grinding.
And then sometimes like, well, let me just make sure this ain't no scam.
Right.
Is it a number on the paper?
After we cash it.
No, I gotta do it before.
Well, that's just me then.
Y'all ain't finna be taking my money out.
Right.
Actually, this was a bogus check. Now we gotta take out double of
Oh man.
that happened to me before because
Oh really?
because I got a check for $3,000 and I didn't do the work yet, and I was like,
oh.
"Ooh."
Yeah. I
So
get that one.
for me, I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta do the call
Stay honest, people. There you go.
and not be gullible.
Right.
Yeah, that was a tough time. That was when I had moved here.
Yeah, we wide-eyed and we want to see
Yeah.
this. We want everything to be true. People, money, everything. We want it all to be true.
And it's just so sad because we'll come here with just a pure like, oh, it's gonna work. These people want to help me. They don't give two rats tails about you.
Nope, they do not. They only care about what you could do for them. Yeah. I remember the time where it was they looked at your Instagram numbers, which is still like a thing. I have agencies that still ask about that.
Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna be able to do with the 1,500 that I have, but I feel like my work should not be determined by the amount of followers that I have.
Right.
But we are in this era of if you ain't got 100K followers, then we can't help you. Which doesn't make sense because why even go to acting class? Why even put time and money into perfecting a craft when they're just gonna get somebody that literally only has 100K?
Yeah, and probably never been in acting class in life.
Yeah, but they gonna pick them though.
Yeah, because he has a following, so you just bought into a whole network of people.
Yeah.
It's disheartening.
It really is because it makes you take a step back and really like, okay, how do I even get to this number?
Right.
Do I gotta buy them? Is that you know how like
some of them do that.
Like, oh, you can buy X amount of followers,
Yeah.
and it's like how many of those people are actually real?
Yeah, but I think this is the right setting to do it. Like, making your own content, getting your own engagement, like doing the skits that we were doing. That was fun, you know? Like, I think all of that and being relatable with people, having an organic build, I think that we could get there with consistency.
That's the word, consistency. And it can be a little tricky because I feel like, you do something so many times, and you just kind of feel defeated. It's like, well, I ain't really getting no traction off of this. Like, what am I doing wrong? But the wrong thing to do would be to not be consistent.
That's right. Don't give up.
Yeah, I'm giving up.
That's right. Somebody's out there watching.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Somebody's always watching you. Even if you don't think that nobody is there, somebody's watching.
That's right.
And it'd be crazy because like I remember I got booked for this film and I didn't even know who this person was. Like, I seen you. It was the mixers that Casey used to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know this individual. Like, you know how you go on to stuff and like you meet people, but sometimes it's just kind of like you don't really realize who you're talking to.
Yes.
And reached out and was like, I would like to book you for this. I thought your personality was great. Like,
look at God.
Oh,
see, she kept mouth clean and was friendly. Shout out to Casey Lee too.
Yeah. It was great networking.
Yeah.
Like met quite a few people from that.
That's right.
Doing that.
That's something free that you go to and it's probably out of your time and out of your budget, but that's something you have to do that leads to, furthering your career.
Yeah. And just finding the right networking things to go to in general.
Right.
Just kind of like, you got to weave them out. Some of them.
Of course.
They disguise it as networking. It's a house party, and it's like I don't want to go to a party.
Sponsored by Harvey Weinstein or somebody.
I don't want to take.
I'm good.
House.
Right.
I don't want to give up my phone.
It's a pajama party.
I don't want to get blood. I don't.
Right. Where are all these candles lit?
Who's coming?
Yeah. Am I first? Am I early? Or somebody asking me for out to dinner? Dinner?
Who all gonna be there?
Yeah. All right. Just me and you, huh?
Let me call this ride.
Yeah. Definitely be careful out here.
Yeah. That's kind of what stops me, at least, from like trying to find these networking things because I mean there are quite a few networking opportunities out there where you can go and
Right.
it's just purely that.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of times it's disguised as something else, and it's like, well, how do you truly know until you're in that situation? It's like, hmm, what, where do I go? What do I do? How do I be?
Vet these people. Vet these people.
Yeah. You got to do the research. I haven't said that in a while. Do the research.
Do the research.
The research is going to tell you quite a bit, and it may only have a couple of words, but those couple of words could say quite a bit.
You know, we need Yelp for people in LA.
Yeah, oh, that'd be
That's a $1 million idea right there. Yelp for people.
Yeah.
This person's a no-no.
Right. Watch. They're gonna magically have it. Like,
yeah.
I think my guy Jerry need to be getting paid for that. 20.
Yeah,
20.
There you go. Give me a higher vibe.
Have you ever felt uncomfortable asking about money?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of times I think that we all get uncomfortable with that. Well, you know, when we first started, you know, we don't really know the lay of the land. We probably not that confident about ourselves. Yeah, it's been times where I've been lowballed and I thought, especially if I'm hearing around, like, you getting 350.
Yeah. I'm getting 1,000.
Like, what? Like, hold on. How I get up there? And yeah, so sometimes, you know, it's worth the risk of asking for more. But then other times you might lose the opportunity. But you can't be scared to lose the opportunity. You got to bet on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know your worth. Again, know your worth.
Yeah, you have to, because if you continue to, oh, well, I think this is okay. Like, I don't got that. It's not that big of a role. So maybe the $2 was okay. You know, maybe it was okay.
They want you for something. Yeah. Yeah, for a reason.
You know, so just, you know, there's a way to go about it without,
of course.
you know, being
pushy. Yeah, so-and-so is getting this much. What's the difference here, you know, from me getting this to that?
Yeah. You know, they're supporting and I'm a lead. So how are they getting more respectfully?
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, if you're a lead and you get less, I mean, there's obviously a problem here.
I think one of the zeros may have accidentally been put for the other one.
Yeah, I think you gain confidence after a while, and you know your worth, and you start speaking up more, you know, and and don't be afraid to walk away if it's the right situation or the right thing to do. You know, if you see it as that, like, hey, this is not worth my time. Like, I'm taking 2 buses and a train here.
Right. Like, well, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, we have to figure this out. Like, you know, so know your worth. I think that's the takeaway here.
And, you know, I feel like, you know, there's a difference between being cocky and confident. Like, you can be confident and you don't have to be cocky, you know, and I feel like that's where the confusion lies when you get to asking about your money, because now they're thinking, oh, she thinks she bigger than the program. He thinks he bigger than the program. It's not that I feel like I'm bigger than the program. It's that the program has majority of me in it. I was just curious.
I mean, if you're making the film and you're doing all the heavy lifting there, yeah, I think that conversation is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't be no extra in the back of the back and talking about why I only get paid certain amount.
Yeah, like, all right, we don't even see you.
You know, you got to weigh your options here. You know, it's different between getting your feet wet and then, you know, then it's up to your ankles.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't go overboard now.
Right. Don't go overboard.
Within reason.
Within reason. But yeah, I think you should know, you know, if you're doing too much and it's too little, you know, have that conversation.
You know, are you taking time off of work? How long are you taking time off?
Right.
Is this going to be like a month type of thing?
Yeah.
Who's paying the bills?
Right. It has to make sense.
You know, so
come on now.
Yeah. So like that's how also you got to determine if you're going to do something for free or not.
Right.
You know, there's sometimes about who you know. Okay, yeah, I know them. You know? Yeah. But sometimes if you don't know them and it's just what it is, just an opportunity, but it could get you far. But you're going to be filming for X amount of days. And the only thing that's free is the food. What am I supposed to do for rent? You know, and other bills that I actually have to pay in order to continue to stay in this good old state of California.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been in those situations. You know, like I didn't know the person. We met at, you know, some random, you know, mixer, and you know, the opportunity sounded good because, you know, it was like, oh, you're building a network, or it's like a comedy troupe and things like that. And then you start doing this stuff and it's just like, this is not good.
Yeah.
What did I get myself into? So I think that's another thing. Like, yo, know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Know when to walk away, know when and to speak up and say like, I'm not feeling the direction that we're going in.
Yeah.
I just don't see myself.
Gone.
Right. So yeah, you're gonna make mistakes and this is how you learn.
Yeah.
So in the future you could be more selective.
Yeah. Selected. Just
Yeah, there you go.
do the research, selective.
Right.
You know?
Right. Don't be too gung-ho,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all get like that, we all excited and we all
Mhm.
want to do these big opportunities, but some people don't have your best interest in
Yes.
mind,
And it's especially if you haven't booked anything in a while.
Right.
And you should get somebody where it's like, oh, we would love to have you on this. Oh, yeah. You
Pump
say
your
yes.
brakes.
What is it talking about?
Right.
You got to sign something that ain't too copacetic.
Yeah, that's always scary when you
Mhm.
sign something like, and you ain't got enough money to have a lawyer or anything over this stuff. But I would definitely start reading thoroughly and asking questions.
Highlighter, pen.
Yeah. Take the time out.
What
This
this
is your
mean?
life. Yeah. I mean, now we got Google, we got AI, we got everything. Yeah. I just asked ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What they talk about here?
Right. Because they gonna give it to you. They gonna let you know.
They gonna give it to you, all right. People always got their best interests at hand before yours. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So you gotta look out for self.
Yeah. Doggy dog world.
That's right. I'm telling you. Because in that same opportunity, like they was getting stuff from us, even though I didn't like how it was coming out.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be portrayed like that. So yeah, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, but not sorry.
Just go ahead and delete my scenes.
Yeah, please.
When free is actually worth it.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that, like we've been saying, when you're passionate about whatever that you're doing,
Right.
it doesn't have to be about acting, just in general. It's worth it. Your passion beats anything,
Yeah, that's
money
right.
and all of that. So if you're truly passionate about whatever that you're trying to pursue, it's worth it.
That is the pay sometimes,
Yeah.
I know big stars like Jonah Hill or something
Mhm.
like, he took pay cuts just to work with Martin Scorsese or
Yeah.
all these big time actors. And I would do the same. Like, working with these people is just not like I'm awestruck. This is it's the learning thing. Like, learning and knowledge is currency out here. Because that's gonna propel you to go further. Those opportunities just to learn or just to be in your craft and perfect yourself and always sharpening your skills, that is worth way more than money because that's gonna give you the leverage that you need in this Hollywood land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I like hearing those stories where, oh, well, I mean, I didn't really make much, but I wanted to do
Right.
the opportunity. It wasn't
Right.
about the money.
That's
It was
right.
about, being on set, being with these phenomenal actors and just really being around this positivity.
Yeah.
So,
Taraji with Brad Pitt, and she didn't
Yeah.
get paid a lot.
yeah.
Not at all. Even though, I think she's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she killed it. And you know what? I would have did that role. That's something I would take 2 buses to
Yeah.
do every day and love it. And love it.
Because opportunities are coming from that.
That's right. That's right.
You just never know what the next opportunity is going to be when you take that free
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
chance on yourself. So hey, if you want to take that chance and just work on something that's free, you're taking a chance, but you never know where it's going to end up. So
Sure. Do your due diligence though.
Yes. do that. Do the
Yeah.
due diligence, do the research, because everything ain't always shiny and pink.
That's right.
Sometimes it can be real dark.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Especially out here.
you see that black hole? Move away.
That's right. That's right. Yo, you will fall through.
Yes. And hit your head.
That's right.
Now you waking up somebody else. I'm like, God darn it, where am I?
Yeah. That is true. Like, don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
We talked about keeping your morals, but like, keep who you are. Because like, a lot of these people they might just propel up.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, like just coming up, and they become like these mean people.
Yeah.
Like jaded and like life has been hard for you. But you have all these blessings. And I think that I always stay grateful. you know, and gratitude is always gonna like dispel depression and just being a mean person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not good.
No. I'm gonna keep giving change out to people that ask, you
Yeah.
know, and if I stop doing that, then I know that I'm losing myself. Yeah.
Even if they
That's a
throw
metaphor.
look, even if they throw it back in your face.
Yeah, yo, look, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. Always be you though.
Yeah, you definitely have to be yourself because if you're portraying to be somebody else, after a while that mask is gonna crack.
That's
and
right.
It may not be the best. So
Yeah, that's right.
just be you. That's all people can really ask for
Right.
is for you to be you.
You are enough.
Yeah, for the people in the back.
You are enough, especially when you get booked and
Mhm.
you're excited and then you think, oh my gosh, I have to be this way. No, they wanted you for a reason.
Yeah.
When I came out here, they was like, you're too New York. You say water and you say coffee. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what stands me out from everybody else,
Yeah.
and I'm always going to be me. When we was in acting class and I get up there, I do me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me a script. Look what I did with it.
Yeah.
This is me. All right. Nobody's gonna do you like you. All right. So be you 100%
Mhm.
and never change.
Yep. Don't change.
That's right.
Don't be rude. Sometimes, you be in the mood.
Yeah.
We're human, it happens.
Yeah.
But don't make that mood indefinite.
Yeah, exactly. All aspects of you,
Mhm.
because that mood that you have, that's part of you.
Mhm.
And then this silly mood that you have, that's part of you. And then you have something in the middle. All of that is you.
Yep. It's colors.
There you go.
Yeah. It's colors.
Paint the rainbow.
Yeah.
And then, put it in your art,
Yeah.
So if you're taking a bus somewhere and you have to play this role, I'm using that. You okay? Brad Pitt in front of me, he's like, hey, when we doing a scene, I'm going to be thinking about like, I just took a bus here.
Right.
Okay? Don't tell me. I'm like, damn, that dude was good.
Right.
That boy good.
Ain't that boy good?
That's right. That's right. Use all you have. It's like that movie. What's that? Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in his life prepared him for what he needed at the end.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Yes, it's such a great movie. I love that movie. But that's life. Everything is happening for a reason. Everything is preparing you for something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And so be grateful. Be grateful for the ups. Be grateful for the downs because you're still here to live another day.
And I always think about like everything that I've talked about on this podcast, like it's really happened to me, you know? So when people say, oh, that couldn't have been, how are you going to tell me?
I'm telling you, this is all therapeutic for us,
Because, at the time, it sucks.
Yeah.
But after a while, you can laugh about it. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, and if it didn't happen, I wouldn't know about it,
Yep.
And I couldn't tell you guys.
Yep. And I wouldn't be here today doing podcasts and talking to other people about what's been going on if I never had these experiences.
Growth.
Yes. Very, very much so growth. Very much so.
Keep growing, y'all. Keep growing. If you ain't growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
Play for real?
Yeah. They are real people.
That's right. Growth.
Yeah. Growth. Huh. Learning to say no without feeling guilty.
Yes, that was hard for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because you never know if you're making the right decision sometimes.
Yeah.
But you just have to trust your gut. And and I always feel guilty. I feel like that, sometimes that you put a lot into like getting something or you building this rapport and then
Yeah.
you hit this like, I don't really want to do that. Cause I've been on set and, as one character and then they like, oh, you actually want to bump you up. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But you have to play this compromising role. Like, whoa, on the spot too.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of time to think. And you're thinking like, damn, this is a great opportunity, but I don't really think that I want to do this.
Yeah.
So that's when, your morals come in and you got to stand on your 10 toes. You don't feel guilty for, what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's always not going to be, sometimes it's going to be like, hey, like, damn, I look back and I regret, but don't live with regrets. Don't live with regrets. You did it for a reason. You said no for a reason. If that's how you felt, validate your own feelings.
I also feel like, it's that fear of missing out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have that.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I don't want to do this, but I don't want to miss a
Right.
possible other opportunity I could get from this. But if
Right.
I say no, I'm not going to get that opportunity. So it's like
Yeah.
just that fear of not knowing what you could be
Yeah.
missing out on, you
I
know?
think trusting your gut, like,
Yeah.
you know, all my life, I always, my gut has, you know, did well for me.
Mhm.
You know, I always trust my gut. Like if something is screaming at you, yelling at you, like, no,
Mhm.
you know better. You know better. So do better and trust yourself. You know, you can't be out here, you know, flip flopping.
Yeah.
You have to stand on your
Mhm.
10 toes, stand on business.
Yeah. Because your gut don't know what to do. You all over the
Right,
place.
right.
You might think the no was a yes. It's like,
Right.
gut, dang it,
I done told you. It's like my mother. It's like I always think of like my gut is like my mother's instinct. Like, and anything my mother has said in all my life, yo, I'm like, yo, it always came true. It always
Man.
came true. So if she tell me something, I might be like, come on, you don't
Yeah.
know nothing. But I hang up and I'll be like, not doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, we all grown, but yo, look,
Yeah, it's
if
something about the mother's touch where
yes,
she be like, I don't think that's
yeah,
right. Like,
yep.
no, I can't do it.
So my gut is like, you know, is like my mom to me. You know, my gut is always something I trust.
Mm.
I just, you know, I have to take, you know, you gotta take that first leap forward and just be like, you know what, I'm not with it.
Mhm.
Because a lot, on the other hand, you're gonna be having a lot of regret. And I don't believe in living with regret.
Yeah.
So do what you gotta do
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Listen to your mama.
Yeah, listen to your mama. I'm telling you, man, she the only one that's in your corner for real.
Yeah. They be knowing.
They be
They be
knowing.
knowing well before you do.
I'm
Like,
telling you.
I just know.
Mother called me like, how you surviving?
Yeah.
I learned from the best. I learned from the best. That was a big thing when I first came out here. I was like, yo, your mamas did it. We can do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you know, back then, you know,
Yeah, it was a little
prices,
cheaper.
yeah,
It was a little cheaper.
a lot cheaper. But it's okay though. We still
Yeah.
learned
That's right.
how to survive. So,
Resiliency.
hey, we up.
We up.
We up 10.
Mama, I made it.
Keep on making it.
That's right. That's right.
Bring you on the TV.
Yeah.
At the award show. Mama, I got it.
That's when it really matters. Because my
Yeah.
mother, I tell her, like, I did this. And she be like, you get paid for it?
Right. How much they paying you?
How much they paid you? You got something on the phone bill?
Look, you be like, it was 100.
Yeah. You know, I stopped telling my mother about certain things now. Just that I'm active, okay?
Yeah.
But when the time comes, you will know. Yeah.
'Cause it's funny because sometimes like you gotta keep some stuff to
Yeah,
yourself because
of
like,
course.
you know, I feel like not to say that, and it's not even about mamas or more, it's just like
Right.
people in
People in
general,
general,
or
yeah.
like your close friends, family. If you
Yeah.
let them in on a little too much, then it's like, well, I don't think you should do that. I think that you should have got this. And it's
Activity,
like,
yeah.
nah, just hold
Yeah.
on.
A lot of people put their fears on you. Even moving out here, people are like, I don't know why you doing that,
Mhm.
man. And then, you know, come to find when I did it, it was like, yeah, I was just scared, man. I couldn't do it, you know? So
Yeah.
you put your fears on me.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, and like you said, you shouldn't invite everybody to your blessings, like,
Mhm.
because everybody ain't rooting for you.
Yeah. And it's so hard when you just want to, you're excited. You
Right.
just want to tell somebody.
Yeah,
And sometimes like you just gotta hold it because,
Yep.
you know, it's not that they not happy for you. They just trying
Right.
to figure out like, okay, I get that you excited, but think about it. It's like I have thought about it. What you talking about?
I'm smart too.
Back then they didn't have somebody around rooting for them in
Right.
a way that they are able to go out and venture off into the world
Right.
and do something that they actually want to do.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very foreign to them because to them it's like, it's not gonna make me no money.
Right,
You know?
right.
You know, I feel like we're more so of we gonna figure it out.
Right.
Like we just got to get there.
Right.
We gonna figure it out.
If you're
But
thinking in dollars and cents, it probably won't make sense.
yes, it ain't gonna make sense.
Right.
We up here with it. Like we got to figure it out. And we still figuring it out. You know,
Yeah,
if
of
we think
course.
we have stuff figured out, it's like, you know, new ways and tricks of learning
Yeah.
something where it's like, oh, I can do this 10 times faster than what I can
Right,
do it before.
right.
Yeah.
You're constantly growing.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you know what? Be the example for those type of people.
Yeah.
You know, because those people, like you said, they didn't have an example. Be the example for those people. Go against the grain, because those are the really exceptional people.
Yeah. And in this business, you are going against the grain
That's
because,
right.
like, you always hear, well, I mean, it's true, a million people there. What make you different?
Right.
And it's really something to think about. It's like, well, what does make me different? What can make me different? Because, to be honest, everybody's here to dang near do similar stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
you really do have to sit back and think, well, how am I different? And find that and perfect that. That way, when your time do come, you're already there. You're already prepared, you know?
Jewels dropped. Yeah.
So, hey, I do feel like we are the example, or maybe not the example, but well, no, I would say the example
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
the older generation, to the extent of going out and really doing what we said we were going to do,
Right.
and
Right.
them like looking like, wow,
Yeah.
they really did that.
Yeah.
Like it's never too late to follow what you are truly passionate about. And I
Right.
think that some of them are still stuck in that.
Of
"Well,
course. Of
I
course.
mean, I'm age now. I don't think I can
Right.
really,
Right.
it don't even have anything to do with age. Well, sometimes, I mean, you can't really go be a professional basketball player at
All right.
50,
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
we have to be within reason, of course.
Right.
But essentially, it's never too late to try out new
New
things.
things. Yeah. For sure. For
So
sure.
I think that it is still a struggle.
Right. And even new ideas. I'm giving new ideas to my mom. Like when I came out here, I became vegan. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the LA thing. But it's something I always wanted to do. And just being at home, I thought it was a little bit harder. And then when I came out here on my own, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then as Black people, we suffer from a lot of ailments from food. And just giving that advice to my mother, and she's seeing how I'm doing. I run marathons. I'm 2 world majors, about to be 3 world majors. Yeah. But yeah, she sees that like, hey, this is worth it, and I'm having my struggles. Maybe I should try something new.
Yeah.
You're right. It's never too late to learn something new, even at the tender age that, our parents are,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's never too late. Like, do something new. We can inspire the old, the young, and yet to come.
Yeah. And speaking of something new, how did you even get into running marathons? By the way, Jerry, that boy be running, boy, be running. How did you even get into that?
Well, this was back home in Brooklyn,
X, that's what you're
no, BK, yeah, not the Bronx.
Oh.
I'm sorry. The
Delete
Bronx.
that.
Yeah. So, I'm from Brooklyn, and I had a lot of friends and myself. We used to box, we used to dabble in the boxing and stuff. And part of boxing is running. And so, me and my friends, we would have to run and stuff like that. I think the running stuck, but the boxing did not, which is totally fine. And so, I started running. Then I started doing races. Started with the 5K. Then I did my first half in Brooklyn. And then after that, I came out here and I was like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to do this marathon thing. And LA was my first one that I did so well that, my team out back in Brooklyn, they hooked me up and I got into New York. And then after that, I just did Berlin or did San Francisco before that. Yeah, about to do Chicago. So yeah, it's something I'm into. It's like my meditation. I can't stay still. So meditate in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I go through a lot. Yeah, marathon running is my thing. I'm trying to do all 6 world majors, and then off to the 7th, which is in Sydney, Australia. So yeah, and then I have to run fast too because I have to make Boston and things like that. So it's a challenge. It's something, outside of, working and being creative and struggles of like auditioning that I could just,
Be free.
be free.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't need a lot from it, just need some good shoes. Hopeless to me, please.
Oh, go reach out to my guy.
You know what I mean?
He working.
No cheer.
He out there.
Come on.
Really out there running.
Yeah.
And y'all shoes, please bless
And
him
y'all shoes.
with an opportunity to be signed to y'all major deal.
You know what I mean? Just support me on my journey. That'll be nice, yo.
Do a
I'll hold you down.
repost.
That's all I ask. But
Help a brother out.
but yeah, no, it's been good to me, and the discipline that I get from like getting up early and running and training and stuff, I apply that to my acting career. Just staying on it, stay consistent, never giving up.
Can you run with like headphones? Are you able to listen to music?
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? After a while, I don't know, music start becoming noise after a while. Like it gets you started, like, yeah. And you start getting lost in it. And then when you get like in a couple of miles, like it starts becoming noise. And I like to be in my thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like therapy.
Yeah.
I go through all emotions when I run. Like, especially in nice neighborhoods. Like I run up like, why couldn't I have rolled up here? And then I start getting sad, I get mad, and then I start accepting.
Yeah.
And then I did 10 miles. So it's very therapeutic to me. Yeah. But I am gonna start on running listening to audiobooks. Yeah, I like that. The first time I did that was a 50 Cent book. Yeah, and it was cool because it was like 50 Cent talking. I was like, oh, okay. It was interesting. Yeah. So I get to learn and run. So
Yeah. You sit there making faces.
oh, he did that, huh?
Sit there laughing to yourself. They're like,
Right.
this man outside.
He
his
is
mind.
petty. But he's a smart man. I love that guy. Do not cross him because he will cross you back
Wait.
10 times.
He be getting on their tail, boy. I
I
just be
tell
like,
you.
where you get the footage for this?
Yeah, somebody helping him.
Man.
No, I love that guy. I auditioned for him one time for BMF
Oh,
back in the day.
nice.
Like this, he was going to every city and then like looking for like people to do BMF. Even though he had Little Meech already in mind, but it was cool to audition in front of him. I shouted out Brooklyn. He laughed. He loved that. It was great. I would love to audition for him again. Yeah, he has great opportunities. Louisiana with the big sound stage. So yeah, big things.
Definitely would like to work with him too, because like you said, he provides a lot of opportunities for people.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that'd be
Black man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I feel like running a marathon, like it just makes me think of when I was in middle school, and it wasn't a marathon, it was just the track.
Right.
But
right.
we were supposed to do a race,
Yeah.
and I was, what is it, the first leg, the first person running?
Okay. Yeah. Like a relay.
Yeah, relay
Okay,
race.
yeah.
And you know how they have it set up? It looks like, shoot, the first person is all the way at the front and you all the way at the back. It's like,
Right.
I'm never gonna make it up there. Like, of course, I'm all the way at the back, people in the front, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. So somebody was like, just think of something fun. So I'm running. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a good pace. All of a sudden, I'm trampled by the person that was in the lane next to me.
Oh, wow.
Because they couldn't run straight. They tumble on top of me, whole side of my leg, skin is gone. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't want to do this anymore. Track is not for me. Now, the hop, skip, jump. Well,
Right.
it's not called that anymore. I think they refer to it as the long jump.
The long jump. Yeah, right.
But when I was in school, it was the hop, skip, and jump.
Hey, you do hops. Yeah.
And I was great at that. So I just
Okay.
stuck with that.
You found your lane.
Yeah, but that running, no, that turned me off. I'm like, I'm going to be getting trampled? No, thank you.
You know what? That's like a metaphor for life. It seems so far away. Somebody seems like they're in front, and then you just like, I'm never gonna make it up there. And then you might even get trampled and fall.
Yeah.
But you know what? You find your niche, you find your lane,
Yeah.
and you can hop, skip, and jump right to the place you want to be.
Yeah.
I did that.
You did that. But yeah, that's exciting though. Like, so how do you even prepare for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do with that. Well, first, getting up early in the morning, and getting those miles in. Like, you have to have a schedule. So I have a coach back in Brooklyn. He actually coaches the marathon running club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's with Nipsey Hussle's brother. Yeah, stuff. So he does the LA Marathon every year, now, and he coaches him. So he's just out here right now too. Cause he just had a run yesterday. So that was just crazy because they all was sponsored by Puma and stuff like that. And then I was connected. But he sets out a schedule, like when the race is and then like what you need to be doing. They also have apps for that too, that could give you a schedule for that.
Okay.
But it's a lot of early mornings, lot of running. Some days is fast runs, some days are long runs, some days you're doing regular just easy runs, but every day is running. Every day is running. And then you also have to strength train, you have to stay in the gym, get your legs right, get your body right. Yeah, and nutrition. Yeah, so you want to eat a lot of carbs because you're burning that off. Yeah, you also want to stay light. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be losing a lot of weight.
Because you did say you was fasting. I'm like, ooh, drink no water or nothing, Jesus. Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm fasting right now. I'm not Muslim, but I do like to do the Muslim fast. During the Ramadan time, just to stay disciplined. I like to stay disciplined with a lot of things that I
Yeah.
do, so I won't fall off. So yeah, so I'm fasting right now, which is great because I am training and I like to maybe slim out, maybe keep my discipline in hand, getting up early still to get my water and stuff like
Yeah.
that before the sun comes up, and then work out a little bit. Just staying on track. And again, like I apply all this stuff to my life because it's the same thing. I have to get up like last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was running around all day.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, I still have to do this audition,
Yeah.
and I'm falling asleep while submitting it.
Yeah.
And this is many times I've done this.
The
But you have
grind
to
don't
do it.
stop.
The grind don't stop.
You could be dog tired.
Yeah.
Listen, I work 2 jobs and I get the audition like, dang, okay, I got to get home. Okay, like I got a little bit of time to do this. Okay, let me try to, memorize the lines while I'm on break at work. Then come home, do the audition, do it at a couple of times, make sure that look right, then submit it.
Yep.
By that time, it's time for me to just go back to work.
Yep. Yeah. Same here. I don't think we sleep.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, 2 jobs too, and then I feel like I'm always working, but you have to find time for yourself. You have to find time to do what you came out here for, because life is gonna throw you those curveballs.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna be like, yo, you're gonna be like, dang, I gotta live. I gotta make money. I gotta do this, but you also gotta live for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm grateful for things like this. This shows you the consistency and the grind that she has. Like, look what she's doing. She's always calling me with a new adventure. And then I admire that. It makes me want to do more because we're still doing it. We're still here.
Yeah. I mean, trying, like you said, I feel like, if ain't nobody gonna book me, I'll book myself.
There you go.
I create it.
There you go.
I do it. Then you see me, it's like, now where has she been at?
Right.
Well, if you would have booked me originally, you would have seen.
So you turn that FOMO around.
Yeah. Now you fearing of missing out on me.
That's
You see what I'm saying?
You missed it. You should have had me when you had the chance.
And I be thinking about, like, I used to do modeling when I had moved here. And
Okay.
I just kind of stopped because, they looking for particular
Yeah.
folks. So I was just kind of over it. And I remember, because I really wanted to model for, it's called Wilhelmina.
Okay, yeah, I know
Top.
them. Yeah, that's the top. Yeah.
Always been a dream of mine. And I remember I kept going to the open casting calls. And each time, it'd be like the same person too. Like, why I can't get nobody else? And like everybody else off when I come. Gee.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just,
Them gatekeepers, yeah.
and somebody with long legs come on through the door. Ooh, yeah. Like, hey, right here. I can make them long too, the hill.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think you'd have been great at that. I think, yeah, you keep trying, but
Yeah.
like you said, with the hop, skip, and jump, just find your lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would love to do print work. Like,
Yes.
I see myself in all the different stores.
I can see you.
Nordstrom Rack, Sephora, Walmart, any store. Well, not any.
Well, I'm more TJ Maxx. I'll probably get in that.
Hey, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross.
Holla at me.
Listen.
That's the Ross model.
Shoot, Ulta. I just think that I see that for myself. And I just, it's a vision that I keep having where, like, I see my picture and then I go into the store and I take a picture next to my picture, like, Mama, look.
Are you into vision boards?
Yeah, I make one every year for the new year.
Yeah, okay. I think I kind of seen that you did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the one I created this year, I kind of, for the lack of better words, dumbed it down just a little bit in terms of really honing in on specifically what I want or I'm looking for.
Right.
Because the past one, it was just kind of
all over the place
in a sense, like, ooh, I want this. And it's like, cool, but let's start with the cores first.
Right.
and then we can branch off of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I did this year. I just kind of
Okay.
honed in on like what I was specifically looking for. 3 things. That's really all you want to, just 3 things for the vision, the 3 major things, and then you can add to that,
Mm,
you
mm.
know, opposed to just putting everything everywhere and you're just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I like that branching off, like the
Yeah.
core thing and just branching off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
it all falls into the same, category,
Of course, yeah.
but just having it be more organized so that way you're able to look and be like, okay, I did boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Okay, next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More focus orientated. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can do this. This is tangible.
Yeah.
Man, that's
So
nice. That's nice. But I do see you being a model, print model for sure. Yeah.
I thought about getting back into modeling in general, like
Yeah.
runway, because that's what I was doing back home in Wisconsin.
Right.
But like, where do I even start? Jeez, and I remember I was looking it up, Googling like, LA
Yeah.
Fashion Week, whatever. And you gotta pay to be in it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Start small. You know,
Yeah.
we got our black owned businesses out
Mhm.
there, like actively black and all these
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Yo, let's start there. Let's walk for them.
So I really need to figure out like who are these black designers? Are they
Yeah.
having, a fashion show? Do they
Right.
need models? And then that opens up the whole casting call situation where you go into the room,
Yeah.
walk in front of the folk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I kind of miss doing that.
Get
So
back into it.
yeah.
Yeah. I see it. I can see it now.
Yeah. Lights, camera,
Yeah.
action. Okay, so I want to move into a win
Mhm.
is a win. A win is a win.
All right.
So, what has been a win for you lately, recently? Anything. It can really be anything. Acting, marathon, whatever you feel like is a win for you.
Yeah. As I said, like 2026,
Mhm.
I wanted to like really like balance my creative and work life. Now focusing on that, I'm seeing all the opportunities that's always been around me.
Yeah.
That I just like put on the back burner just
Mhm.
because I needed to work.
Yeah.
But my friends are still there. People still believe in you.
Yeah.
And when you start reaching out again, and then like we was waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, me doing that, getting back in contact with people, getting back into my bag,
Mhm.
kind of like really focusing, like taking that time for myself
Yeah.
to remember that I'm doing this for a reason. I'm here
Mhm.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Is leading to a lot of opportunities that I see in the future. Like I said, because I do 2 jobs.
Mhm.
One of the jobs, sometimes I moonlight as an Uber driver,
Mhm.
right? And I met some people that work in the theater,
Mhm.
and so happened that the theater is close to me,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm just like trying to get back on the stage, yeah, and I think that's the next venture that I want to do to keep me sharp, to keep me noticed,
Yeah.
because a lot of people go to theater still to find those actors,
Mhm.
and this, and I'm a big actor, like I'm a
Yeah. Yeah.
which in acting class they always tell me to tone it
Tone it
down.
down, Jerry.
Tone it down, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's better to want to be toned down than toned up.
Yeah.
So on stage I could be as big as I want,
Mhm.
and I want to get back to just the love of it, doing anything I want and being on there and just being me to the full effect. So yeah, and then just reaching out to people who are also doing stuff right now and joining those writers' rooms and just doing what I came out here to do
Yeah.
and focusing on that. So I think that my mindset is changing from like the last year, and due to like, my discipline from running and
Mhm.
everything like that, I'm just putting, I'm just categorizing everything. And I think that's a big win for me,
Yeah.
just changing my mindset into doing things back to the drawing board,
Yeah, I feel like you always got to go back to the drawing board at some point. It's
Yep.
like, all right, let's scratch it and let's rewrite some stuff and
That's
see
right.
see what we
That's
can
right.
come up with. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I feel like I don't know, the past year it was a bit heavy just
Yeah.
because, working 2 jobs and I feel like I'm always turning down opportunities because
Right.
I gotta work.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, well, hold on. I didn't come here to work in that sense of
Right.
overworking myself at these 2 jobs and not getting much of anything anyway.
Right.
And then turning down these opportunities. It's like, well, why you turning it down? Like,
Yeah,
what you
that's not
doing?
what we came here to do.
So I really had to like kind of take a step back and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Right.
Because you out here, you almost your 7th year,
Yep. Yep.
kind of same spot-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it really makes you sit back and evaluate yourself and the choices that you're making and the choices that you need to make for the future in order to better yourself for
Right.
that future.
Yeah, and it's funny because like we've done enough. That's
Mhm.
why I'm saying, like, I start hitting people back up, and like we've done enough to still propel ourselves, but because we got distracted,
Yeah.
it kind of like halted, but we could still go back and hop right back on that
Yeah.
same spot that we was at, and then still keep pushing forward
Yeah.
because those opportunities haven't left. Those
Yeah.
people haven't forgotten you.
Yeah.
You still who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
that is the key, and what we said earlier about just being comfortable.
Mhm. Yeah.
I kept saying to myself this year, like, yo, it's time to get uncomfortable again.
Mhm. Yeah.
I put a lot of work in to be comfortable, own place, to
Yeah.
pay my own bills, and
Yeah.
catch up to COVID bills and all this stuff. Like, and I'm proud of myself for all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and still being able to afford the things that I like to do. But it's time to get uncomfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe I'm thinking about like even like less days at work, or like more, doing more in a day, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have the 2 jobs, and sometimes I'll go from one job to the next job in a day so I can have the next 2 days
Mhm.
free to do what I need to do,
Yeah.
and which is not sleep.
Listen, you ain't gotta tell me.
Yeah, no, I know, but we can sleep when we rich in a comfortable bed.
Yeah. Even then, don't sleep too long.
Yeah, don't sleep too long. Yeah, unless I'm making money in my sleep,
Right.
which is the goal.
Yeah, just to while you sleep, resting real peacefully.
Yeah.
The bank account just
I'll keep that notification on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Use it to my ears. Just warm, comfy.
Right. But yeah, let's get comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's where the grind comes in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's when it really hits because when I moved here, I was very, very uncomfortable.
That's right.
I didn't know how I was going to be paying rent. And the Lord always made a way, but I was so uncomfortable to the point where I was booking stuff where it's like I didn't even understand how I booked it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And like when I had that opportunity to go to Palm Springs
Mhm.
to be a supporting actor, I just didn't even understand how I even got that. I remember I had auditioned and I just remember the background. I think I stood like behind the
Right.
blinds. The blinds was open, light shining through. I read it as a monologue opposed to just, me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I remember I sent that over and I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
I booked it off of that and it was just like, wow. And I just think back to that moment of like, you didn't even, it seemed like you weren't even trying to book it.
Right,
And,
right.
you booked it. Now it just seems like I be trying so hard.
Yes.
You just keep hitting that brick wall. Well, I don't want to, go back to filming incorrectly.
Right.
I don't think,
Right. No,
I don't think that's
it.
the message.
It's
That's not the
it.
message. I think more so just kind of just doing it and just kind of going about your business. And when it come back to you, then,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
meant to be. But, sometimes you do kind of be like, well, I wonder, did they pick the people already? Did they cast it? 'Cause I knew that was a good one right there. I knew that was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier too, like I look at commercials and movies. I'm like, yo, who this black dude? Why I ain't know about this?
Right.
And I think like as good actors, we should have like a little competition. I mean, we all root for each other,
Yeah,
but
sure.
you have to have a little competition. Like, hold up, I could have did that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, why wasn't this on my radar?
Yeah.
So it makes you like want to work a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And back then when we didn't have this much jobs
Yeah.
and stuff like that, we had a lot of time to like put in, to like, answer auditions and appear for auditions.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, like, yeah, you now gotta turn down stuff because of work. Like, where do you
Mhm.
do that at? Like,
Yeah. You were doing what?
yeah, we going in the wrong direction
Yeah.
sometimes, we feel. But it's all about having that work-life balance.
Yeah.
And and that's what we need to just focus on right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Remember why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got friends that's calling you back from home and they're like, yo, what you doing? I ain't seen nothing new. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dang.
Now you interested.
Like, well, yeah, I ain't seen nothing. I know some of my friends always been interested, but then they try to keep that fire under me. But it's an everyday struggle. It's an everyday grind. Like, we're professional auditioners.
Yeah.
So we always auditioning. Like,
Right.
it's not like that, stuff don't stop happening.
Right.
But we could put a little bit more in, if we just give ourselves a little bit of time. It's
Right.
24 hours in a day,
Yeah.
right? So we got to use them wisely.
People be like, oh, well, I haven't heard you talk about nothing in a while. I mean, I'm auditioning. Like, you want me to tell you everything I've auditioned for this week?
Sometimes that's enough. I auditioned for this thing. Like, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that can hold more food.
Yeah. But even then, depending on what I'm auditioning for,
Right.
I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Of course.
Because I don't want it
Jinx
to
it.
jinx it. I ain't saying nothing.
We got some stuff cooking.
I got something cooking up in the kitchen.
There you go. That should be enough. Trust me, I'm working. Yeah.
You ain't seen it yet, but
Right.
just hold your horses.
I'm not at the Oscars yet. I'll let you know. I'm working.
Advice for actors, or rather, advice for creatives.
Okay.
What do you have?
Shoot, I feel like we gave we dropped a lot of jewels here.
Yeah.
But besides, being yourself and, keeping your morals and always working and finding that work-life balance, just never quit. Believe in yourself all the time. Things are darkest right before the end, when you close. It's like that, that picture when the guy is like mining and one turns around and the diamonds was right there. Yeah. You don't know what life is preparing for you. You don't know like when your opportunity is gonna come, so just keep believing in yourself and keep on tossing that axe.
Yeah.
Because this is what you want to do, and even if nobody believes in you, believe in yourself.
Keep on trucking.
There you go.
Yeah, you gotta keep on swimming.
A hop, skip, and jump.
Yep. Hop, skipping, and jumping. Long jumps, if you will.
Long jumps. There you go. Find that niche because it will come to you. And try new things. Like you said, try new things. You can't just stay in one lane. You gotta try new things. Like, I'm running. It helps in this life. This podcast, like podcasts are great, because, it takes one to know one, and we have to help each other out.
Yeah, and especially what the podcast represents.
Right.
It's literally
it's for
struggle.
us.
The life of a struggling actor, creative.
Right.
Just it's for everybody, but I feel like it really hits creatives a little bit more.
Of course,
it's like,
of course.
like they're going through that too.
Yeah. For us, by us.
Yes.
Yeah. Black owned. There you go. Yeah. Support each other. Support us, because we got a lot of stories out there and we got a lot to say, and so, just stay in the grind. Stay in it. Hey, that's my advice. Stay in it.
Stay in it.
That's right. That's really the name of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to move on to pick a struggle.
Pick a struggle. All right.
Right. So
just one?
I mean, you can pick two if you want to.
Yeah, right. I can't have too many struggles, huh?
Okay. First question. Would you rather work for free on a project you love or get paid for something you don't believe in?
That's an easy one. Yeah, I'd rather not get paid for something I love. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Not even thinking about like what it could lead to, but just being proud of myself and being proud of the work that I'm putting out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely is. Because like we've been saying, the money will come, but like something that you love and are passionate about, that trumps all of that.
Yeah. I want to be proud of myself and eventually have kids and be like, yo, look what I've done. That might inspire. Yeah, right. That's you. But it's all about inspiring the next people, because you could build somebody that's great just for something that you've done or something that you wrote or something that you created, so.
For sure. Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather do a favor that goes nowhere or say no and feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. So, we talked about this. So, I would say no. Yeah, I would say no. I've been a people pleaser a lot in my life, especially in college. I've been a people pleaser, and dim my light, and I learned that dimming my light, I'ma always lose.
Yeah.
I'ma always lose. So as uncomfortable it may be, I'ma have to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that means you're growing because it's just I feel that too. I feel like I was always a people pleaser and making sure that others are
Yeah.
good before me. It's like
Right.
I want to make sure I'm good first.
Right. They ain't doing much for myself, you know?
Okay, would you rather memorize 10 pages overnight or improvise without no preparation?
Yeah. All right. Now it's getting harder, huh? I'm an improv person. I like to bring myself into stuff. As long as I know the bones of what it is, and then I just think of like how I'll react to it. Unless like, there's some directors like, I need you to say exactly what I just wrote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not saying that I'll just throw the paper away. Like I would definitely study what's going on there and read it. But yeah, I think I won't just like out of nowhere just improv like, yeah, I didn't read it, but I would definitely do it my way.
Yeah.
I would say I'll do it my way. Cause I'm not really big on lines. Like I can memorize lines because I do commercials a lot, so I can memorize lines, but it's just that what makes you stand out, Like I'm gonna bring myself into this, because they picked me for a reason. They picked me to be me, so I'm gonna know the bones, like I said, and then I'm gonna do it, Like, Denzel does that, Denzel, he does the scene and then he does like, boom, like a Training Day, boom. That wasn't scripted, him doing the whole King Kong thing, that wasn't scripted. That's where the gold is. When you understand the material, when you really invested in that character and you did the homework, which that's what I'm advocating, doing the homework, then you could do whatever the hell you want. Be you. Be that person that you created.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got to.
that's right. So I mean, I think more improvised, but like I'm still doing my homework, so it's somewhere in the middle. But I'm more leaning on like I'm gonna improvise. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Last question. Would you rather nail an audition and never hear back or bomb an audition but get called back?
Damn, that's even harder. Oh, me, I think I want the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want the job because you hear those stories of people like, dang, I didn't think I did good. Like you even said, like, I ain't think I did that well, but I still landed it. So that means that they saw something in you that was innately you. So, yeah, I'd rather bomb. I don't plan on bombing any auditions. I don't think I'm a plan to bomb audition, but yeah. I think it's that much sweeter that like, damn, I ain't even do that well, but they still saw what I was trying to get. And yeah, I would definitely pick that, but I always want to nail my audition. Everybody wants to be perfect, but sometimes perfect ain't it. Perfect ain't it. Be you, fumble, do those little nuances that you give naturally. And, and then if you look at it, it's not even bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even bombing.
Because you booked it.
You booked it. You did what you needed to do. You never know what they want.
Yeah, and that is so true. You really never know what they want. Heck, half the time they don't even know what they want.
Yeah, yo, that is so true. You showed them what it could be. No,
yeah. I like how they did that.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah,
I didn't think of this character like that. I'm not trying to be like, hey, let's rewrite something. But I'm gonna give you my take on something. And I've heard that so many times. People was like, oh yeah, this person should act like this, and then somebody was like, no, I don't see it that way.
Yeah,
and then it just changes the whole nuance. You might just rewrite this whole thing into something better than it was actually written. So
you don't even know.
Yeah, be you.
You just being you.
That's right. Be you, and I'm always be me.
Yeah. Because that, like you said, it does happen where it's like I need them in this film, but there's nothing for them specifically.
Right.
So I need to write them in. And I feel like that happens quite a bit. You was only supposed to be on an episode or in a film for like less than a minute,
Yep.
and now you are throughout the whole film or throughout the whole show just because of your
Yeah.
personality.
Stranger Things, dude from Stranger Things. He wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
What's his name? The dude with the baseball bat. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Y'all
Yeah,
know.
yeah, y'all know. But yeah, he wasn't supposed to be there that long, but
Mhm.
people liked him. He was
Yeah.
himself, and he added to the character. He added to the chemistry. Even the redhead girl, like she was just supposed to be like an antagonist to 11. Like, you
Yeah.
know, she wasn't supposed to be as big as she was, but it worked
Yeah.
because who she was. Like, don't take what they give you. Don't let them put you in a box. Be the box.
Because one
Break
thing
the box.
about it, I'm applying for all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Caucasian
Yo,
female,
yeah.
5'11". No,
Because you don't know what you really want. You think you do, but you don't know what you really want. You didn't know that you needed seasoning in it.
You ain't seen me yet. Let me go ahead and submit.
No, it's definitely true. I'm telling you, yo. So I didn't know, like, well, I was in the Nicki Minaj video, like they had me as a detective, like, you know, and I'm like, I can't be a detective. I never see myself as a law enforcement. After I did that, I was like, how much things have I been limiting myself to? Like, you know, I've done an ad that I was a scientist and I'm just looking at a test tube. I was like, am I realistic as that? Obviously I was. So now, like you said, I don't care what the description is, yo, I am that and I will be that, you know, and I'm gonna do my best to do that. Or just do me and you see that it's another way. It's another route.
Yep. Don't close the door on your own self.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. There's enough people doing that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
But, well, the time.
What's the end?
Yeah.
Wow. That was good.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I don't try to hold people too long, you know. I try to time it in a way where, it's reasonable.
Right.
Got things to do, so I don't want to hold nobody here for hours. Just getting in the topics, the conversation, and just letting it flow and it end where it ends.
Yeah. How about those struggles? Would you pick everything that I picked?
Let's see.
There you go. Switch the hot seat.
Let's see. If I would work for free on a project that I love, yeah. So honestly, I think I would, except for the 10-page one. I think I would just. Well, I think I'm.
Yeah. It's like a middle ground. Yeah.
Because I need to know what the topic is even about. Like, I'm just walking into a room and okay, go.
Yeah.
Go where? What am I doing?
Yeah. Know the bones. Yeah. Know what we talking about. Do your homework first.
Yeah. So I think that me being me, I would memorize 10, but also if they say, oh, well, we're not really working with the script. So I was like, okay, cool. But I still have that in the back of my head if I need to use it,
That's true. Yeah, they do that. Sometimes they be like, they'll be like, oh, memorize the script. And then they be like, you come in and be like, you know what? Don't worry about the script. Throw it away.
Yeah. Or they had changed the whole thing. It's like,
you're right.
I don't remember these ones.
Yeah. They want to see you be you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a middle ground with that. I'm not saying that I won't read the script, but I'll definitely do my homework.
Yeah, exactly. Moral of the story, do the homework.
Do the homework. That's very important.
Do the homework. Pick what you feel like you believe in and what you're passionate about, even if you ain't making no money for it. It's still something that speaks to you, your heart. So, hey, just pick it.
Yeah.
But that's it for today.
It was great.
Yes, Jerry, I really appreciate you coming. Yeah, I feel like I always say this to guests, but I'd be nervous to reach out to people because, like, I don't know. I just, like, I think it's just, like, I just, like, oh, well, they might say no, but let me just ask anyway. Yeah.
Well, you can always ask me to do stuff. You know? Like, what we was talking about, like, with certain people, like, you could ask me to do stuff and I'm down. Yeah.
I appreciate you. No. Look, you ain't leaving hanging this time. But I do appreciate you coming. It definitely means a lot when people actually take the time out of, their day, their schedule, to come and support. That's always, it definitely speaks volumes to your character as a person. So definitely, genuinely, I do appreciate you coming.
Thank you. I hope we do more of this.
Yeah. Hey, have you back.
Yeah, there we go.
New topics.
And let's do more skits.
Yes, yes.
You can do that.
And that's the funny thing
Uh-huh.
is, people be like, "So you're not doing the funny skits no more?" When I was posting them, and when nobody paying attention, y'all
Yeah.
interested.
And you know what? And I thought about, and which I will do, I'm gonna repost them.
Mhm.
I'm gonna repost because they on TikTok. People are looking at them on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repost them on Instagram because I just was looking at the the last one we did,
Yeah.
which I think is the funniest one. That was hilarious. And a touchy subject, because I didn't think people liked me a little bit from that either. Like,
Uh-oh.
but it's good though. I love that. Whatever reaction is a good reaction,
But it's true.
It's true. It is
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
I feel like when I write, these episodes, or when I'm
Yeah.
writing, a scene, or like the screenplay that I wrote, like it's coming from true, like actual things that have happened with a little tweak to it,
Right. Of course.
skits,
Yeah.
but that it's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
And that's the thing people are uncomfortable with, because like, oh, well, I'm doing that to somebody. Why you talking about me? Like,
If the shoe fits, man.
I didn't say any specific names. So.
Right. Somebody was on a date with her and they was like, "Uh-oh, you talking about me?" But it's good to play that. If you haven't seen it, please watch the skit. Yeah, it was, she was on a date, and the guy, he he has a preference.
Very
So
much
please
so.
go back and watch that skit. It's hilarious.
But yeah, definitely. You know what inspired me just to like really get back into just writing funny stuff, because I did step away from it when I feel like I was right there, and I just, like, no one's really
Yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah.
Forget it. And I feel like I do that a lot with stuff where it's like,
Right.
well, I put my all into it,
Mhm.
and then I'm kind of feeling like I'm not getting anything back, and so I just feel like, forget it. And I feel like with acting, I have not done that. And with
Right.
this podcast, I'm not going to do that.
That
Because even right now, it's like, oh, like my numbers went down. Like, ain't nobody watching it. Only
Right.
shoot, 3 people watched it, and 2 out of the 3 was me. So one person only watched it, listened
Right.
to it, and I'm just like, man, like, nope.
Well, you
Keep
know
going.
what? You pivot and you found your long jump, which is
Mhm.
this is your long jump. It's always okay to, go back and, and do stuff that just finds you joy.
Yeah.
Everything is not gonna, show
Yeah.
immediately, but as long as you having fun and you
Mhm.
getting satisfaction from it, and you got peers like myself
Yeah.
that's agreeing with it and that's loving it too, and we can add to it,
Yeah.
let's run it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like even creating the podcast, I feel like it's become therapeutic for me personally,
Right.
because like I could be feeling down one day and it's like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Why did I come here? And then I'll sit and edit an episode. It's like,
That was good. That was
it was good, And it's like, I literally just think about like what I'm saying. And it's like,
right.
yeah, you need to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. Like, you're
Yes.
talking about it,
Yes.
you're saying it.
Yes.
Now you need to act on it.
And that's why this is relatable because, we're talking about a lot of this stuff for advice for others, but
Yeah.
there's also advice for ourselves.
Yeah.
We know better and we have to continue to do better.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is for us too.
Yeah. Truly. It's for us. Cause boy, oh boy, I do be feeling it.
Yes.
So.
But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Yeah. Anytime.
Yes, definitely appreciate you now. Come back now, you hear?
Yes, right. And if you didn't know, I'm Jerry Davis from Brooklyn, New York. 7 years in LA.
Mhm.
And and I'm an actor, marathon runner, vegan, and single.
And sounds like he's looking to mingle. Y'all heard him now.
Yeah, I dress nice, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my boy Ostrich Brill. Oh, yeah, all right.
No, Ostrich Brill. All right now. Look, now ladies, you see he came all spiffy for you now. I'm gonna tag him, of course. Y'all do what you do with that.
There's a little description of myself. That's all.
So for the people that are listening, we have Jerry Davis on the Creative Podcast.
That's right.
Sweatsuit. caramel, ostrich braille,
Yeah.
like an olive green embroidery collar. His chain,
Earrings.
what is it, goatee?
That's right. Got a little shape up.
The shape up with a hint of a curl to it.
There you go. There you go.
White
African American.
teeth, black African American gentleman.
Over 5'8". Yeah, you know.
Oh, you a little short.
Points just went down. Yeah, there we go. What you 5'9"?
5'8".
Oh, you 5'8". Hey, look at that. It's different for a guy, huh?
Yes, it's a little different.
But we all can't be 6'1", yo. If they would have gave me everything, yo, the life wouldn't be fair.
You know you can get your knees done.
Oh, no. Knees done. Got BBL knees out there.
I know this guy actually got
I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen that. That sounded painful.
Yeah.
He said he was all right, but I don't know. It just hurt me. I felt like my knees was hurting because
you got a hold your knee like, ooh.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I'm gonna just give what the good Lord gave me.
Yeah.
I think I got enough.
You mess around to get to running.
You know what I mean?
That fake needle.
You running like Forrest Gump.
Now you really gonna be short.
You know what I'm saying?
Short before.
Short in the chair.
You're cooked.
Yeah, exactly. You're cooked. So I think I'm all right with what I got.
Yeah. But y'all gonna reach out to that man. Where can people find you, actually?
Yeah, Instagram, Azulay is at Azulay, ASULAY. You can always come to Bestie's Vegan Paradise. That's where I'm usually at. You know, all the vegans are interested in being vegan, you know, come to the store in East Hollywood, you know, and check us out. But yeah, I'm all around on a theater and screen near you.
Okay.
Very soon.
Very soon.
You catch me on music videos and, you know, did the new Darman. Yeah. And I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Some commercials out there. Probably see me on like IG commercials or something like that. But yeah, like just stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to both of us.
Yeah.
Got big things in store.
We got really big things in store for
right.
you.
We not giving up. We only going to the top.
Yeah, only to shoot above the top. Shoot, the sky is not a limit anymore.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a whole galaxy out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to be as bright as those stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, jewels out here.
Yeah. But again, thanks guys for watching. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, send an email, do what you can, please. Yes. Go ahead and call it one. All right, now let's give it again for Jared. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much.